Nowadays, being an artist online comes with a weird new problem. No matter what you post, somebody's going to accuse you of using AI. You can spend hours, days, or even weeks on a painting, and the moment you share it on YouTube, TikTok, or Instagram, the comments start rolling in. This is AI. Prove it's not AI. Clearly AI. Where's the speed paint? And if you don't prove yourself, well, congratulations. You're guilty in the court of social media. At least that's what I've been seeing since I post on TikTok and YouTube more consistently. Things right now is the obsession with speed paints. Apparently, unless you film every second of your process, your artwork must be AI. Never mind the fact that not everyone wants to record their process, not everyone has the storage or the setup or even the mental energy to constantly be documenting themselves. But the internet doesn't care. If you don't have a speed paint, some people will just assume you're hiding something. It's like suddenly being an artist means you also have to be a content creator 24/7, or to be fair, be under surveillance. And if you lost your speed paint, that's your fault. You're AI. It's such a weird concept that we now demand that artists keep artwork for years and years and years. For example, I recently posted old work that I haven't touched for years, and a lot of people were asking me like, why don't you have a speed paint for this? Why don't you have a process for this? And I'm lucky. I've been posting on YouTube for a year, so some of them are still on YouTube. But then that made me think like, I'm not keeping artwork from 10 years ago with speed paint, with projects, with everything. Sometimes you just keep the file, the image itself. So how do we solve that? There's also this weird idea that there's a correct way to do art. And if you don't follow that formula, you must be cheating with AI. If your sketching method doesn't look exactly like the big content creators are showing you, if your brushwork isn't what people expect, if you skip steps, or if you don't do the steps in the same way other people do it, if you finish pieces in fewer layers, suddenly everything is just sus. Everything is suspicious. It's kind of wild because art has never had one right method. Every artist experiments, every artist develops their own process, but now any deviations or any changes from what the audience thinks it's normal can be real. You just, oh, it's AI. You must have traced, you must have copied, you had a layer with lower opacity. It's just doing too much. No, I'm not raising the exposure of my screen recording to hide a 5% layer that has the reference from AI. That's wild. Another painful part of this entire debacle for artists is style theft. When an artist's style becomes popular, it often gets scraped to train AI models. So if you happen to be one of those artists in a style that's been stolen, congratulations again. People will accuse you of using AI. And if you by any chance are inspired by an artist that is incredibly popular and their work has been stolen, well, you are also probably AI because your style is inspired by something that AI stole. Imagine spending years building a recognizable style only to have strangers tell you you're faking it. It's not your work. You're using AI. That's the reality now. It's just insane that no matter what, people find a way to tell you, yeah, okay, sure, you have a speed paint, but it can be AI. Oh, yeah, sure, you have the process, but it's AI. AI can't do that. It's so weird. Here's a funny one that I saw on TikTok. Drawing in one layer is now considered AI, even though traditional art means you paint on a canvas. It's not layers, it's just a canvas. Some artists love working with a single layer. It's efficient. It's their process. It's how they are comfortable. But if you post a finished piece and it looks clean, some people immediately go, that's AI. No way you did that in one layer. Normally, people do this in steps. Normally, people group layers. Normally, people do sketch and then base color. And I don't do any of that. I don't do a sketch like most artists do for a digital painting because I can't sketch to save my life, but I can paint. And I've learned how to build a illustration from painting. So am I also just wrong? As if artists haven't been painting with traditional mediums for centuries on literally one surface. It's a canvas. That's how I learned. That's how a lot of people that actually studied art learned. You learn to paint with one canvas. And actually, that's one of the biggest struggles for traditional artists coming into digital art, is the fact that they are used to just using one layer. And then when they start painting digitally and they have like all of these options, it's overwhelming. It's a different process. But some people, especially oil artists that do digital after, they still go about it the same way. They paint and render at the same time, for example. And that is something I've been seeing a lot on TikTok. People that paint like oil painters do, being accused of AI. And then when they share videos of them painting, oh, that's not your process, that's eraser AI. Which is apparently a way of trying to mimic oil painters where you just erase over the final piece. I don't even understand that because that looks weird. And every time I've seen people try to do that quote unquote technique, it clearly is AI, but you can tell. But the whole debacle doesn't just sit into how you paint or the process or you skip steps. It also goes back to apps. What software do you use to paint influences the opinion of people to tell you if it's not AI or if it's AI. For some reason, using Procreate automatically makes you suspicious to certain people. I know that you can add a layer and make it invisible in your speed paint, but maybe it's just because it's available to everyone. I've literally seen comments of speed paints that were trying to prove, oh, I'm not AI, look at my speed paint. Someone comment, oh, but this is Procreate. You can easily trace an invisible reference. So what do they do then? If that's the way they have, that's the setup they have an iPad and they have Procreate. That is it. What are they supposed to do? Until here, I've been only speaking about digital painting, meaning people actually painting their artworks. Then we get into the gray area of photobashing. A lot of popular artists use photobashing. Ross Draws use photobashing. I know he has a lot of controversies, but he's a very popular digital painter in society's eye that uses this technique. And then you have photomanipulation. These have been standard art practices for decades, especially in concept art and game design. Artists mix photos, paint over them, adjust, and create something new. But now, if you share that kind of work, some people instantly label it as AI. That has happened to me here on YouTube. I've shared my old photo manipulation work, and in like 5 minutes, I had at least 2 comments saying, "This is AI." And I'm like, "No, this is photo manipulation." Bro, that's clearly AI. And I'm like, okay, what can I do? These works are from what, 2018? Like, I'm not keeping videos for so long. And like me, many other artists aren't, because storage costs money. The irony is these methods predate AI. Like, I've made most of my photo manipulations before AI was even a thing. They were a big standard of our communities online. That's how I started, like 14 years ago, was doing photo manipulation. So what can we do here to bring back the ability to post something without having to have at least 3 gigabytes of proof before posting? At the heart of all of this is a bigger issue: mistrust. AI art has made people paranoid, and artists are paying the price for it. Just, this is an extra price we are paying above the fact that we are losing jobs. Instead of supporting creators, some audiences default to suspicion. And while I get where the fear comes from, because, well, yeah, I don't want to be supporting someone using AI, it's frustrating that the burden of proof now falls on real artists. It's like being treated guilty until proven innocent, you're no longer just an artist. You have to be like a videographer or editor. I don't know. People think storage is just free. Oh, Procreate saves your speed paint. Clip Studio saves your speed. Yeah, but it requires space. And not everyone has the money to keep it. So where does that leave us? Honestly, it's so tough. If you're an artist online right now, you're probably going to get accused at some point. I've been posting for a week. It's almost unavoidable. But maybe the conversation needs to shift. Instead of constantly doubting and accusing, we should be asking, how do we protect artists? How do we celebrate them? How do we educate audiences about differences between real art, AI, and the many valid techniques that exist in between? Because I'm tired of reading comments of, oh, as a digital artist, this is not how I paint. As a digital artist, this is not how you do it. At the end of the day, art has always been diverse. There's no one right way to make it. And accusing every artist of being AI isn't helping anyone. Honestly, it's just discouraging the very people we should be supporting. I don't think this is a solve video. I think this is more of a rant of something that I've seen happen in just a week of posting constantly on social media. If you're an artist, my heart goes out to you because it's tough. I am very lucky that I've been doing this for years, and you can just Google my name and you can see different profiles with my posts that date back before AI. But a lot of beginners don't have that. I have a 15-year backlog. What do new artists do? Do they just not create content? Are we just going to push artists away and let AI win because we are all too afraid to let AI pass? I mean, I don't want it to pass, but I also don't want to lose artists because they feel attacked constantly. I honestly don't have a solution. Maybe just instead of attacking, question like, oh, what's your process? How do you make this? And at least that way, it creates a conversation that generates healthy content, healthy conversation, community, and not a constant fear of, oh, I'm accused. Am I going to be canceled? I think that's the best solution I have. Anyway, this is my first long form video. And of course, it had to be a rant. Thank you so much for the 4,000 of you that have joined me in this community. And thank you for helping it grow. Some updates for community-based things. Patreon is on the works. Prints are being on the works. VGen is being worked on, so I can do commissions through a platform that people already know, but I'm still open for commissions. And if you like the video, please like it, share it, subscribe, and I will see you on the next rant.